The man has walked into the worst situations in the United States willingly to try to make it better. They're trying to blame him for Inglewood. He warned that board, if you do this financial move, you're going to bankrupt this district. Now they're trying to blame him because they didn't listen to him?
Right.
I feel the same way all the time, and I'm sure you do. You warn them, they don't listen, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times did you go down to that LAUSD board for how many years and offer your services for free?
A long time.
As long as you were able to drive, right? Because you would drive from Orange County and meet me there, wouldn't you?
Right.
You drive from Orange County for us to do TV shows, didn't you?
Right.
Now that's dedication, people. And here he is at 86 and he ain't stopping yet. So we're going to do more of these. So let's go further into your book. Okay, so you've gotten pretty much to the top of the LAUSD bureaucracy, and you get a call from Marcus Foster one day, right? This is the real game changer, isn't
Right.
it? Now tell us what Marcus Foster offers you.
He wanted me to come to Oakland and apply for the principal job at Casamont High School.
Which was the most violent criminal high
It
school.
was the most violent school.
They had like gunfights every day, and the principal eventually got killed in their office, didn't they?
Right.
No matter who did it, it still happened.
Right.
I haven't talked to a person yet that's ever heard of a school today
And I
even
wanted-
posted a day like that.
I wanted to take the job
Why did you want to take the job?
because it was a
Challenge?
challenge.
Did you want to prove what you've been working out in your mind in smaller sections in a large deal, right?
Right.
Now you said to Marcus Foster, you gave him a deal. You do this for me, I'll take this job, didn't you?
Right.
Now tell us what you basically offered.
Oh, basically, I told him I would stay as long as he needed me.
Yeah, but you said to him, look, I'll get you grants, I get to keep so much of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I generate money, I get to keep that money.
At the school.
Right. And then you worked out a way, even inside a union contract, to get rid of rotten teachers, didn't you?
I sure did.
Now tell the people what that interesting concept is that you have. Because I love it.
Related to what?
Okay, if I remember right, what you told me is to get rid of the bad teachers, you made it, that each teacher had a desk and you had to sign up enough students to have the class, right?
Right.
And if I remember right, you told me the students know who the good bad teachers are, and that makes sense, right?
And they wouldn't sign up for the bad
So
teachers.
since they had a choice, they made sure they didn't sign up, right? So basically the students elected to not have them around because they did them no good.
Okay, let me, thank you.
Well, that's pretty cool, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool.
And then you got parents to walk the fence, right?
I had parents all over that school.
To stop people from coming off campus causing trouble, right?
Right.
Then you had what you called your war room, didn't you?
I had a war room.
Then you took every kid that came late and you put a pin where they lived, right? And then here's the other magic deal.
You know this stuff pretty well.
Well, I sure do. But you're filling in a lot of it. That's why we do this, because I get to drop things that you forgot that you didn't know you never told me. And this is important for them to know. There's a lot of stuff today already that we've gotten out of you you hadn't told me so far, as you're going back through this thinking process, because that's how it works. So you get Marcus Foster to give you all this stuff, right, and you take the job on. And the first day you get everybody out in the campus, right?
Right.
Staff and all students and go, it's like it's a new day here and you come and talk to me and this violent stuff is going to stop and I'm open to you. And then if I remember right, you told me you went to every gym class too.
I did.
And then about 2 weeks or so in, some kid comes up to you in the hall and says, Mr. Arthur, can I talk to you? Because I think this was the game changer in the whole deal there. Because until this point, you were just a bunch of, you were another dude talking trash, right?
Right.
And the kid says, we don't have any food.
I didn't know what he meant.
But instead of being stupid, you took the poll, didn't you?
I took a poll.
What was it, 80–90% the parents didn't feed them on weekends or something?
Right.
Now remember, people back then, the Black Panthers were doing child breakfast.
Right.
So Richard calls up old Huey boy at the Black Panthers and says, I need to talk to you, didn't you? And he said something like, what do you want? I want breakfast. When do you want them? When can you bring them? So let's just go to this. Let's say your kids, your parents, nobody in your community, nobody gives a damn about you. You're just hungry. And one day you walk into school and somebody says, which one of 5 breakfasts would you like? That would be an attitude changer, wouldn't it, Richard? Oh, and here's the other things I was just remembered about the war room. Here's something that is really important that these idiots today haven't put together. In 1970, in Castlemont High, every teacher at their desk had a button, didn't they?
Right.
That went to you, or staff, right?
Right.
And if somebody was by where that thing would ring at all times, correct?
Right.
If a teacher rang that button, they had rehearsed for whatever sector it was in, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
You had assigned staff to go to that room immediately and solve the problem.
I had a great vice principal named Hal Cipher. He was Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was Jewish. Someone called me, told me he was Jewish and wanted him fired. I said, I'm not going to fire the best man I've got. So forget it. And
Was he the problem solver in this world?
he thought he was.
I mean, and when the button got pressed.
Yeah,
So that was one of his responsibilities?
yeah, he was.
Okay. So what they had here, people, is they would have, what was it, 2 or 3 staff or whatever combination, would in 2 or 3 minutes be in that room, right?
Right.
And you and I talked about this, and in about 3 days, it all just stopped, didn't it?
Right. Actually, Cipher ran into a room, a portable classroom. As soon as he got in there, some guy shoved a gun in his stomach.
Wow.
A kid from the school jumped on the guy, took the gun away. He was a hero. We made him a hero of that school.
One of the students.
One of the students.
Wow, because he was tired of the stuff that had been going on before.
Right.
And this is a guy who'd been protecting them against animals like that,
He was on
right?
my side.
Well, you got the students on your side once they saw that you were for real, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the key to the thing? And then you set up one of the first parent centers, didn't you?
Right.
Actually, community center.
Right.
So if they needed psychological help, you directed them where they could get it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They had financial troubles, you directed them people to help them out of their financial problems, right?
Right.
And if they needed food, you directed them to food banks or whatever,
I
correct?
figured if we could cure these nagging problems that everyone had, the kids would go to school and do a better job, and the parents would help them.
And then on top of that, you did another thing that you told me about with the pins. And you found that those kids that didn't come to school until they felt like it, if ever, were in kind of one area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got in a car and went and found a storefront, put some teachers in it, got those kids, and said, whenever you wake up, go to school, there's a teacher waiting for you, right? How many did you save, do you think?
I don't know.
A lot of them?
A lot.
And people started moving back into town to go to that school or running away
They came back to town and went to school there.
until the SLA.
Right.
And then they let it go to hell again, didn't they? That's usually the story.
Mm-hmm.
What bothers me, Richard, is why they aren't taking guys like you and McKenna and others that I've met, the few, and put them in a room, because you guys all seem to be doing about the same stuff, don't you? Really
Right.
simple, stupid stuff. They don't really want success, do they? Isn't that the problem?
That's the problem. That millionaire was there then. Remember the millionaire?
Well, which situation was that?
His daughter was involved in the shooting. and she,
Hurst.
Hurst,
Patty Hurst.
Patty Hurst, and she took the side of the gang leader.
Yeah, she got in there with the SLA.
Yeah, the SLA.
But they psychologically warped her, you know. Most people are really weak, Richard, I found with these teachers that have been retributed on. But they don't have what it takes mentally to take torture, you know? Very few do.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you gotta do to survive. They call it the Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
People that go through that are never right again. So basically your book is about how you went through your decision-making process to become a person who could turn schools around and create very high operating ones like Whitney.
Right.
And I want to tell people something. I've been to Whitney with Richard. They say you've got to build these most fantastic looking places to get education. Wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I got my best education was a 2-story stupid brick building as plain as you could ever get, but with the best teachers in the world. At Whitney, it is like a square box with movable walls with plugs in the floor, isn't it?
Right.
But you have the best educators and staff there, don't you?
I remember when they put in the movable walls.
Which gives it total flexibility, doesn't it?
It does. Gives you a lot of flexibility. You can change rooms, change teachers.
Richard, we're going to see if we can put some sense in this in spite of the insanity, so why don't we call this interview a go and let you and I go take a trip down by the beach and have some fun, huh?
Okay.
Well, people, that's the end of this interview with the Master Blaster, Richard Arthur. And now we all know a little bit more about the history of George McKenna, too, and the founding of UTLA. How about that? Teachers, you really need to wake up. See y'all later.